It was 2 AM, and I was on a one-way journey down an all-consuming rabbit hole. It started with a newsletter email I got reminding me that NaNoWriMo 2017 was about to start. For years now, I've been planning on participating, but up until now, a combination of anxiety, procrastination, and a general fear of commitment managed to successfully kill that plan. But I'm getting ahead of myself, because at this point in the timeline, I didn't really know what NaNoWriMo was, how to participate, and most importantly, how to win. So off I went to Google Land to learn more about NaNoWriMo and all of its intricacies. The short of it, NaNoWriMo is this initiative where people from all over the world come together online with one sole focus, to write 50,000 words in a single month.
Do you think it's possible?
50,000 words in
30 days. Do you think it's possible?
I really think it's possible. If you put all the work into it, I think you can do it.
You have so much faith in me.
Okay, that's all great, and that's great and all, but how do I win? Luckily, YouTube had my back. I found a lot of girls sitting in front of their bookshelves ready to explain to me just what I'm about to get myself into.
Find and use other people. Most people don't write best in a vacuum.
Preparedness is usefulness, or whatever that quote is.
When your hands start shaking, that's how you know the caffeine is working.
Make writing a priority.
Because if you get 2 or 3 days behind, that is a lot of word count to make up. And you don't want to be in that situation. You want to keep on top of it every day.
The rules were simple. There were no rules, really. They just told me to write things.
So, it's about to be my first session of writing. Truly exciting stuff. Gonna do this now for a couple of minutes.
I was off to a great start. The whole first week seemed to be going swell. On Saturday, I headed to Rosebank Mall.
So we went Rosebank today to join the local write-in.
My anxiety kicked in. I made a note to talk to my therapist about it later. I got there. People actually showed up. This girl told me she liked purple. These girls were doing it by hand. I know. What? Why? We did writing sprints. We had coffee. I had water because I'm really poor. And soon enough, the day was over and I was back on track. This train followed until it didn't. I fell behind more and more. I kept trying to come up with strategies to keep me writing. The word sprint Twitter account's time zone was dramatically out of sync with my own. So I just started hosting them by myself. Also made up a system I called checklist outlining, where I would make a checklist of all the scenes I want to write and tick the ones off that I finished by the end of the sprint. This was pretty helpful and prevented me from wasting too much time during the actual sprints thinking about what would happen next in the story. Writing in foreign environments also proved very valuable. I found there to be fewer distractions. At home there were books, a cat, and the incessant need to procrastinate. However, another problem arose. Most coffee shops would be closed by the time I would get back from work, and often I wanted to write at night. I found this Wimpy nearby that reportedly stayed open 24 hours a day. And just like that, I found my new writing den. Problem solved. Let's replace that with another problem. I was juggling 5 stories. Instead of writing 1 novel, I wanted to end the month with 5 screenplays written. Jumping between those 5 stories, 5 sets of characters, 5 settings, 5 tones, it became a juggling act, and I'm not a good juggler. Regardless of the setbacks, I managed to get back on track. I remember what the sisterhood of filled bookshelves told me.
Written is always better than unwritten.
But just like that, the little bit of hope I had left died. I kept trying to get back on track, but the track wasn't the problem. The train was. I had lost steam, and I feel like I'm writing myself into a corner with this metaphor, and I don't know how to get out. The further behind I fell, the more intimidating writing became. The mountain of behindness was growing. Sure, I had lost hope, but I'm not one to admit defeat. I was Sisyphus, and the word count was my rock. I cancelled social things, I became a hermit, I wanted to get this done. But also, at that time, I began to feel a sense of fulfillment. Like, hell yeah, I was actually writing a lot. Like, a lot. I can do this! And besides 2-day power outages, constant distractions, my recurring costs of naysayers, I did it. I managed to lose as spectacularly as I started. After copying and pasting all my words into the website on the last day of November, I proceeded to lose another 2,000 words of my expected word count. By the end of the month, I couldn't say that I won NaNoWriMo. And for someone who sees themselves as quite competitive, this is really hard to admit. But I learned a lot. I learned that when I'm feeling distracted, switch things up. I learned that consistently chipping away at your goal is much better than not even starting. I learned that it's so easy to make excuses every day to avoid having to write or to draw or to play guitar, or to read that book, or to go on that walk. These are your passions. If you can't spend 5 minutes every day working towards them, can you really say that you're passionate about these things? So yeah, I didn't win NaNoWriMo, sure. But I'm so much further along with these projects than I had been at the start of this challenge. I met awesome people, I wrote a bunch of words, I drank so much coffee. And ultimately, I'm making this video now. Something I haven't done in years. Making something for the sake of making it. Is any of this making sense? Am I just saying things into a mic, hoping that at least to someone it clicks enough for them to try something that they haven't for a while? I guess. Hey, if you enjoy this content, why not consider pressing that subscribe button, or that thumb button, the one that points upwards, not downwards, because the one that points up actually, it's a funny story, but if you press it, an orphan gets a can of beans. They just get a can. It's crazy. It's insane. You can also hit me up on Twitter and Instagram, or in the comments below. I promise to respond. I feel like commitment's already kicking in. Have a nice day.